Look at a map of global trade. Every single year, over $1 trillion worth of goods, everything from your phone in your hand to the fuel in your car, passes through a tiny narrow strip of water, just 18 miles wide. Bab el-Mandeb Strait, sitting right at the edge of the Red Sea. And the country that stands guard over this $1 trillion checkpoint is a place the world constantly talks about, but very few truly understand. Welcome to Yemen. Before we look at why this country is critically so important to your daily life, let's establish exactly what and who Yemen is right now. The official name of this nation is Republic of Yemen. Its official language is Arabic, spoken with a beautiful, distinct rhyme by its people. If you walk into a local market here, you will be buying things using the Yemeni Rial, the official currency. And the heart of the nation beats in its magnificent capital city, Sana'a, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the entire world. As we live in the year 2026, Yemen's population has grown to an estimated 43 million people. This is 43 million individuals full of resilience, history and culture that dates back thousands of years. But what really sets the stage for Yemen is its jaw-dropping geography. In just 4 lines, here is how the land is laid out. It sits on the southern tip of Arabian Peninsula, bordered by Saudi Arabia to the north and Oman to the east. It features a massive dramatic coastline running along both the Red Sea and the Gulf of Eden. Its interior is dominated by massive towering mountain peaks that are highest in the entire region. And it controls incredibly unique, remote islands that sit out in open ocean like hidden worlds. So how does a country with this exact setup live? What makes it so beautiful? And why is the rest of the world constantly watching it? Turn up your volume. Today we are going completely beyond the headline to explore the real Yemen. When most people think of Arabian Peninsula, they picture one thing: endless scorching sand dunes, but Yemen completely shatters that stereotype because its weather is an absolute geographical anomaly. Yemen has a dual climate. Along the coast, it is exactly what you accept: hot, humid and dry. But step inland and climb up into western mountains and weather completely flips. Because of high altitude, these mountains catch the seasonal monsoon winds. It rains regularly. It gets cool, misty, and incredibly green. In fact, the ancient Roman looked at this lush rain-fed landscape and named the region Arabian Felix, which literally translates to Fortunate Arabia or Happy Yemen, because it was so fertile compared to the harsh deserts around it. And it was this exact unique weather, the perfect mix of cool mountain air, high altitude and rich soil, that allowed Yemen to give the world one of its greatest daily obsession: coffee. Back in the 15th century, Sufi monks in Yemen discovered that roasting and brewing the beans, Coffea arabica plant, them stay wide awake for their long nightly prayers. They didn't enjoy it, they turned it into a global phenomenon. For centuries, Yemen was absolute Silicon Valley of coffee, completely monopolizing the global trade through a single legendary port city on the Red Sea. The port was called Mocha. Think about it for a second. Every single time you walk into a cafe today and order a chocolatey cafe mocha, you are literally repeating the name of the historic Yemeni port city where global coffee culture was born. Yemen sent coffee to the world and the world was never the same. But if you think their agriculture is impressive, wait until to see where the Yemeni people live. Yemen is home to some of the most mind-blowing, beautiful, and unique places on the planet. If you think skyscrapers are a modern invention created in New York or Chicago, Yemen is about to prove you wrong. Deep in the desert sits the ancient city of Shibam, hundreds of years ago. The locals needed a way to protect themselves from rival tribes and flash floods. Because they didn't have steel or concrete, they used what they had: mud and straw, baked them in the sun, and built towering residential skyscrapers up to 8 stories high. They are stacked incredibly close together, rising right out of the desert floor. UNESCO calls Shibam the Manhattan of the desert. It looks like a CGI city from a fantasy movie, but it is 100% real, made of earth, and people still live in them today. Then you look at the capital city, Sana'a. Walking through Old Sana'a is like walking through a living museum. The buildings here are made of burnt bricks and dark stones. But what makes them famous are the stunning, intricate geometric patterns painted in white plaster around every single window. The windows themselves are often filled with stained glass that catches the sunlight, turning the inside of the homes into glowing multicolored jewelry boxes. If you travel deeper in the rugged mountains, you find places like Shahra, perched at the very top of the jagged mountain peak. This village features the famous Shahra Bridge, a stone footbridge built in the 17th century that spans a terrifyingly deep, rocky gorge to connect two mountains. It defies gravity and stands as a masterpiece of ancient engineering. Socotra Archipelago. But out of all beautiful places in Yemen, nothing prepares you for what lies 200 miles off the coast, out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Welcome to the Socotra Archipelago. Socotra is one of the most isolated landforms on Earth, and because it had been separated from the mainland for millions of years, nature evolved differently here. More than a third of the plant life on Socotra cannot be found anywhere else on the planet. The icon of the island is the dragon's blood tree. It looks completely alien, shaped like a giant perfectly formed umbrella or a mushroom. And if you cut its bark, it bleeds a thick, crimson-red sap that exactly looks like blood, which locals have used for centuries as medicine, dye, and cosmetics. Walking through a forest of dragon's blood tree next to crystal clear turquoise ocean water feels like stepping into another planet. It is without a doubt one of the world's ultimate natural wonders. Today, the official internationally recognized government of the country is known as the Presidential Leadership Council, representing the state on the global stage. However, inside the country, power is heavily fractured. A powerful political and military group, known as the Houthis control the capital city of Sana'a and much of the northern highlands, creating a massive internal tug-of-war of control of the nation. And the reason the entire world cares about who controls Yemen comes down to that 18 miles wide stretch of water we mentioned at the very beginning, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. To understand how this affects you, think of global shipping like a highway. If you want to move goods from factories in Asia to the markets in Europe and North America, the fastest route by far is to sail through the Indian Ocean, pass Yemen, enter the Red Sea, and go through the Suez Canal. If that highway is open, global trade moves smoothly, prices stay stable. But because Yemen sits right at the entrance of that highway, whatever happens on Yemeni soil instantly echoes across the globe. In recent years, when regional instability caused disruptions and security threats along this coastline, major international shipping companies panicked. They chose to avoid the Red Sea entirely, forcing their massive cargo ships to take a massive detour all the way around the entire continent of Africa. That detour adds thousands of miles off the journey. weeks of extra travel, and billions of dollars in fuel and supply chain costs. When ship costs rise globally, the price of the items on supermarket shelves thousands of miles away goes up. Yemen's stability directly influences the global economy. Yemeni culture is famous across the Middle East for its legendary hospitality. If you enter a Yemeni home as a guest, you are treated like royalty. You will be served traditional dishes like salta, a sizzling hearty meat stew cooked in a stone bowl, and you will be offered the absolute finest coffee and tea available. Yemen is not just a headline on the news. It is a vital, living cradle of human history, who have been dealt a high complex hand by global geography. Yet they continue to hold on their identity with unmatched dignity. The next time you drink a morning cup of coffee or look at global map of trade, take a moment to look down the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula. Remember the incredible architecture of Shibam, the alien beauty of Socotra, and the resilient people of the Republic of Yemen. So this was all about Yemen in today's video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Country Reveal 1 and hit the bell icon too.